Hey guys, it's Rooster. Welcome to Patch Highlights, where I will cover a couple of patch notes from the recent update that me and Todd found interesting. Starting off with change number 1. The Stinger and IGLA now lock on to air vehicles at both lower altitudes and longer distances. The clips of each patch note will include both pre-patch footage as well as post-patch footage, so that we can compare and understand better. Here we are trying out how low your altitude needed to be to avoid getting locked on by a Stinger. After flying up and down above the ground while looking at the height meter, we could determine that there was a safe zone under 25 meters. So when we tried this out the day after, we were very surprised. DICE has actually removed the safe zone, and you can lock on to the helicopter when it's on the ground. I'm not sure whether this change was needed or not, but without the safe zone it's sure hard to be a pilot. And especially when the flares bug out all the freaking time. And as an extra note, even though your helicopter can be locked on to when it's on the ground, if you jump out to repair or anything, it can't lock on to you. So that makes it easier for you to being able to repair your helicopter after you've been disabled or whatever. Moving on to the range. Here in this pre-patch clip, Todd is trying to lock on to me with his Stinger. We are using the flag as a measurement for how long the distance is. And after a lot of moving back and forth, we could finally say that the lock-on range pre-patch was about 350 meters. However, when we tried this out post-patch, the range has surely been increased. Now the max range is at 400 meters, and that's an increase by 50 meters in all directions. Considering all this with altitude and range, combined with the one-shot disable and bugged out flares, I really can't tell what they were thinking when they made this. Speaking of flares, they are actually saying that they removed the gunner's flare specialization in the attack helicopter. This is change number 2. Here is the pre-patch footage, and we're just showing you how it looked, nothing special. You can see the specialization right there. And in this clip you can see that yeah, I'm alone in that helicopter, but I'm switching seats and using both flares. Yeah, so here's post-patch. Moving into the customizations menu, you can clearly see that they have removed the flare specialization. This basically means that you got one flare/ECM jammer that may bug out against laser paints, stingers, helicopter and possibly jets. And there is no below radar immunity. I just can't stress it enough how hard it is for an helicopter to survive right now. I hope they change some of the stuff back, because it weren't that OP with an attack helicopter if the enemy really knew what they were doing. So anyways, moving on to change number 3. The Laser Designator unlock on the scout helicopters has been changed from a pilot upgrade to a new stance in the Copilot seat. This is a very interesting change, and I have a good guess why they made it. Pre-patch, on maps where scout helicopters were involved, any kind of fighting between them involved locking on with your Laser Designator and firing your guided shell. That was almost a 100% guaranteed kill if you managed to get the missile launched. And the whole concept with it was very boring. Here you can see how I was all by myself able to laser paint Todd in the tank, pre-patch. Here we got the scout heli on Dama 1 Peak Conquest. Todd will take the pilot seat and I will take the 4th position in the chopper. When we tried this the first time, we were very confused when trying to lock onto things. But then I remembered how DICE usually hides secondary weapon functions without telling you, like in the Mortar and the Amtrak. So when I realized that, I pressed number 2 on the keyboard and like magic the interface appeared. I really like this change because it fixes the scout helicopter combat as well as promotes team play, which I really like. So yeah, good and bad about this patch. Let's move on. Change number 4. Mortar strike explosions are now shown on the HUD for the shooter. This isn't a big change, but it's a nifty one, so yeah, here it goes, pre-patch. A mortar shell is launched, You can hear the explosion, and yeah, that's about it. And here comes the post-patch footage. At first it looks the same, but if you wait for the explosion, you can actually see an indicator on the minimap. This is a typical change that always should have been there from the beginning. So it's really great that they implement stuff like this. There could be more stuff though, so we will see in the future. Change number 5. Changed reload behavior on tank/tank destroyer cannon weapons to prevent being able to fire 2 shots from different weapons quickly, one right after another. This nerf actually only affects the canister shell specialization for tanks, which was quite overpowered pre-patch. In this next clip I'm showing you how OP this weapon was before patch. You could just spam it directly after your main cannon shot, which made it like super, I don't know, effective. We also have some footage of the LMG, the coaxial LMG, because we didn't know if they would nerf that too. So yeah, here it is. You can fire directly after your main gun. And here is post-patch. So here it is, the nerf canister shell. Now it shares the same CD with your main gun, so you have to choose which one to shoot. As you can see, I'm trying to shoot here, but nothing happens, and yeah, that's what I have done. So that's nerfed, pretty much. Canister shell isn't useless now though, it's still very good at shooting down air vehicles. It's really hard to hit with your main cannon, so that's a viable use, I guess. But whenever infantry is in the picture, I'm pretty sure like that the machine guns would perform a little bit better. And there is some post-patch footage of the coaxial LMG. It isn't nerfed, as you can see. And yeah, actually none of the other secondary weapons for tanks got nerfed. Not even the guided shell, which you would think would be nerfed because it shares the same cannon or whatever, but it isn't. You can like lock onto your target and fire a normal tank shell right away after, so no problem there. That will be all for this video. If you want to check out the rest of the patch notes, I will put a link in the description. Please leave some feedback in the comments so we can make better videos in the future. Rate the video after what it deserves, and if you want more videos like this, you should press subscribe. With that said, thanks for watching and take care, guys. And yeah, about that random helicopter. Mess with the best, die like the rest.